Welcome, everyone. We are getting started on Insight Timer now, so please join us on Insight Timer. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Chris. Great to see you again. Hi, Liz. Big hearts and hugs to you. Welcome, everyone. We'll begin in about a minute. Hi, Patricia. Hmm. Hi, Mary. Oh, thank you. I am. Thank you. I'm trying to remember how I was feeling. Oh, maybe I was just feeling a little off one day. Maybe some emotion was coming up. Thanks for checking in. I love your profile picture, by the way. That's exquisite. Hi, Jennifer. Great to see you. Ah, aloha, Susie. I'm so happy to all be together. Let's get this wind blown hair out of my face. Welcome, everyone. If you are not on Insight Timer and you're here real time, I invite you to join us on Insight Timer to be part of our interactive experience. Warm welcome to everyone who's here. Mm. My name is Selena, and this is our weekly satsang. Satsang is speaking to or translates to a gathering of truth. So we come together to be in this space of loving community, of exploration in our paths of awakening, presence, healing, growth, spirituality. However, you are experiencing or labeling your path, this is a safe space for us to be together in community, exploring the challenges that arise, different tools and techniques, sometimes just being together, reminding ourselves that it's a gift to be alive. So, a very warm welcome to everyone in this space. We do have a group on the app as well called Love Heals All. It's a loving community space like this. Everyone is more than welcome to join. I have many recordings that range in topics. I also have 2 courses, yogic practices for a peaceful life, and another course called Awaken My Heart, a guide to living with self love. And in addition to these weekly sessions, I also offer live yoga asana sessions, the physical postures of yoga, once a week. You can find all of this as well as a website to stay in touch right here on my profile page. Hi, Mel. Hi, Rosita. Hmm. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your willingness to show up today. It's not always easy, is it, to show up? So thank you for being here. Mm. Mm. Let's begin with the centering technique. If you can't move your body, you can just visualize this experience. Bring the palms to touch at the heart. Relax the shoulders, soften the belly, sit tall. On your next inhalation, breathe in slowly as you reach your right arm all the way up, and your left hand's going to come down by the navel. Exhale as slowly as you can, like you're moving through honey to bring your hands back together where they touch at the heart center. Inhale the left hand and arm all the way up, right hand by navel, straighten the upper arm if possible. Exhale slowly to come all the way back to the heart. One more time on the right side. Inhale the right arm all the way up, left hand down by navel. Open the chest. Exhale really slowly to come back to the heart. Feel your palms and fingers touching. Close your eyes. Soften the shoulders, the face, the jaw. Really sense your palms touching, your breath. You might even have the thought or the feeling inside, I am here. I am here. And now turn your palms into your heart. Maybe one hand holds your heart, the other hand holds your belly. Feel like your body can soften into your palms. There's this sense of maybe warmth, kindness, caring in your hands. And now say to yourself in your mind or out loud, thank you. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for doing your best with everything happening right now. Thank you for being. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now relax your hands down. Allow the eyes to remain closed if that's comfortable. Feel your shoulders drop back and down. The body is moving into a natural stillness. Maybe it sways a little with the breath, but otherwise, there's this sense of inner silence and outer stillness that we're moving toward together. Be aware of your body breathing, the sensations. And now become aware of the mind, the thoughts, without needing to change anything, without trying to fix something or make your mind more quiet, without anything being different. Practice just watching your thoughts like they're clouds in the sky. You're watching them pass by without trying to change them. If you find that you're getting caught in one thought in particular, maybe it's a story on repeat in your mind, maybe imagine in your mind that you're holding on to that thought really tightly. Maybe you picture it in your hand like a cloud you're holding on to, or something that you can really hold on to, and you're squeezing it tightly. And we can already sense how much tension or resistance that causes to hold on to something so tightly. So imagine you're holding on to this thought very tightly, and then take a deep, full breath in. Exhale with a sigh and let it go. Just open your hand and release. And if you need to do that a couple of times to feel like you've really started to let go, you can do that. Inhale deeply. Feel that resistance inside. And then exhale with a sigh and feel like you're just letting it go. No need to hold on to this any longer. Bring your awareness again to the sensations in your body. Just notice, what am I feeling right now? Without judgment, without the need to fix or change. Are you sensing any emotions as you explore your body sensations? Maybe you notice there's a tension in your belly and it feels like fear, or a heaviness in your chest that feels like sadness. Just explore any emotions that may be here, again, without judging them. All of these sensations and feelings, thoughts, are temporary. They are an experience. An experience comes and goes. It is not who we are. Take a deep, full breath in and out, and say to yourself, whatever is here is okay. Whatever I'm thinking right now is okay. Whatever I'm feeling in this moment is okay. I give myself permission to exist just as I am. Let's take a deep breath in together. Exhale completely. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and hold the breath. Relax the face. Exhale through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause if that's comfortable. If not, you can just skip to the inhalation. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Hold the breath. Relax the shoulders. Exhale through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause if that's comfortable. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Continue counting your breath in your mind. We'll be here for another couple of minutes. Slow, deep, comfortable breaths. After you complete this next round, return to breathing naturally. Let go of the counting and the pausing. Deepen your breath. Sense your feet and your legs. Feel your hips, your pelvis, your torso, arms and hands, neck, face, and head. Sense the fullness, the wholeness of your being. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. This is just a story or a construct of the mind. There is nothing wrong with you. Return your hands to your heart and your belly if you can move them. If not, you can just visualize this. Lovingly hold yourself with kindness. And when you're ready, open the eyes. Mm. Mm. I could rest in that place longer. The energy of this full moon is really potent. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Wonderful to see you, your chats, your profile pictures. Blessings. How does that feel if you just took this journey with us? How does that feel inside? Hey, Lori. Grounding, peaceful. Thank you, Andrew. That's funny. I was just looking at your profile picture and feeling I'd love to hear from you. I see you often and don't always hear from you. So thank you. Thank you for your generosity of your donation. And thank you for being here. Happy to see you. Yeah, Patricia. And, for anyone who had that same feeling of, I didn't want to leave there, go back. Spend this satsang, spend this time together with your eyes closed in that state while still maybe listening or just feeling the energy of whatever's happening in the session. You can stay in this place. It's part of the power of the vortex we create, this energetic grid we create when we come together that we've established now for so long, for years really. This energetic grid is here, so we can really drop into some powerful states together. So enjoy this space that we've created, that you've created within your own being. Distracted, perfectly okay, warm and safe, a release of emotions. Yeah. Yeah. There's no right way to have an experience. I know so many of us, we want to be able to say, "Oh, I went into the cosmos and I was with my higher self and my soul and I'm enlightened now. We want to be able to be like, oh, I'm so happy and so peaceful. And it doesn't always work that way, right? Whether it's the energy of the full moon or something else, these last days when I've sat to meditate, it's been excruciating. It's a little dramatic, but it's been really challenging. Just the last couple of days, I think, is we've been nearing the full moon. That's kind of what I'm sensing. Uh, like yesterday, we have this sweet little meditation group that meets in person. And the entire meditation, I just felt so agitated. The body was agitated, the mind was agitated. I couldn't settle down, thought to thought to thought. I'm saying my mantra and I'm just kind of like, ugh. And I felt that way yesterday in my morning meditation as well. It's okay. It's okay. If we're distracted, if the mind is agitated, if emotions are coming, it's all okay. Hi, William. Thank you. I see your comment there. Overwhelmed. Hi, Gary. Have you ever been through emotion code therapy? I haven't. I don't know what emotion code therapy is. Sounds like a great therapy for emotional intelligence, though, is what I'm guessing based on the name of it. Hi, Maureen. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. So, where shall we go today? I have Ma's book here that we can read a little bit from at some point. Maybe today we'll read a little bit from the book, and then if you have any questions, a question we could say that relates to this journey that you're in. I guess every question relates to the journey, but not but in this space of satsang, we can use this precious time and our collective energy to bring forth the questions. How to say this, that relate to our growth and elevation. That might look like a question about, I feel really caught in a rut of depression and I don't know what to do. It could look like a question about your meditation practice, anything like that. So feel free to ask a question if you have some kind of burning question in there. And we'll get to a couple of questions today. And we'll also read from Ma's book. How to get more clarity. That's a great one. We'll come back to that, Danielle. Your question will be first. So let's read a little bit from Ma's book, and then we'll come to Danielle's question. Of course. Thank you for your courage and vulnerability in asking. All right. Again, Conscious Living, the Power of Embracing Your Authentic You by Her Holiness Saima. I'm just going to flip and we'll see where this brings us. Maybe we'll even find it relates to Danielle's question. So this book, it uses words like God, Allah, source. If there are certain words that you don't resonate with, just leave them. It's okay. You don't need to believe anything that I'm reading or that I'm saying. You don't need to agree with it. Take the pieces that speak to your heart and your mind and just leave the rest behind. Yes? All right. I guess we're diving right in. And Danielle, I have a feeling this is for you. So we'll see. We'll see how this resonates for you. So this is one of the last chapters in the book. Like the beginning of the book starts out with things that are more of part of our mundane experience, our mundane meaning kind of like the more gross meaning like material, third dimensional, not more of the more esoteric teaching. So the beginning of the book is about relationships and understanding the difference between happiness and joy, things like this, how to, create a spiritual practice. And the further you go in the book, which is where we're getting here, we get really deep into the teachings about our spiritual practice. So we open to one of those last chapters. So if this just feels like, whoa, that was like 0 to 1,000, again, just take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And Gary, I see you posed a question, so we'll come back to that as well. This chapter is called When You Surrender to God. And for many of you have been with me for some time, and you know that one of my personal practices for many, many years now is to regularly just say, grant me the grace of surrender. Grant me the grace of surrender. So here we go. There is no place in the universe where God's love is not manifest. You are to experience that divine nectar. Ready, Danielle? Here we go. Allow your heart to open. The divine has placed the treasure of the universe in the lotus of your heart. And just for clarification, I'm speaking to Danielle, but this is for each of us. There is a nectar here, there is a jewel here for each of us. The divine has placed the treasure of the universe in the lotus of your heart. Yearn for that knowledge with deep love. Express with faith your desire to enter the abode of God. And again, you can use words like source or any other word that you prefer, where God's divine light is burning. And to merge with that light, devote yourself fully to the grace that leads to divine love. You are from God. Your soul chose the state of separateness to experience this life on earth. If you are reading this book, it is probably because your heart is impatient, waiting to see you ask for grace. Excuse me, there's a different energy here. I need to read that differently. If you are reading this book, it is probably because your heart is impatient, waiting to see you ask for grace to rest in the divine again. Only in divine love will you find peace, joy, bliss. Have faith that God dwells within you. Commit yourself to loving God. Let your heart fully open to devotion. Ask for grace and humbly offer your being, your love to God, Allah, Source, Buddha, however you wish. To do this, you must practice disciplining the senses. Discipline can transmute the senses and clear the mind so that your heart will open even more. Hi, Jason. You're right on time. As soon as the heart opens, the path of God realization offers itself to you. Your reactions will shift to the divine as you start mastering the senses. The fullness of devotion is in the heart. Simply allow your heart to open and with deep devotion, dedicate yourself entirely to the divine. Offer your whole being to the divine. Devotion is the most precious gift you can give to the God in you. God has infinite love for you. God gives endlessly. From the sacred temple of your heart, allow this devotion to move through each cell so that your body is a temple. Living in purity, living with pure thoughts, increases devotion. You experience a relationship with the Supreme when grace opens and frees your heart, moving you from duality to non-duality. Surely we are blessed to be on this planet at this time. So together in unity, let us taste this radiant, blessed life in its highest. This life is God's creation. This life is all Shakti. See God everywhere. Taste God, smell God, touch God. These experiences are for you. Divine love never changes. It is divine, and that is it. Love is a whole experience in itself. Yearn for this devotion and this love, and I promise you, you will experience them. Ignorance will depart as it will be transmuted, and your cells will respond to this yearning. Implore, demand the divine presence within. Create this relationship with God. Be divine, be love, and offer your life to the divine within you. So, again, this is one of the very last chapters in the book. So, it's in really the deep journey of the spiritual path. You don't need to use the word God, even if you don't believe in anything, even if you're atheist or agnostic or anything like this. You can just choose the words that resonate for you. So how was that, Danielle? What clarity is arising for you, if any? Yes, Mary. Grant me the grace of surrender. Yes. The name of the book is Conscious Living: The Power of Embracing Your Authentic You by Her Holiness Saima. Is there any more clarity for you on how to find clarity, Danielle? Hmm. Danielle shares, I am on the journey to keep opening my heart and a reminder to sit in this space for clarity and to listen. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I'll offer some practical things also, because sometimes being able to sit in the heart and listen for our own voice of God or the divine can be difficult, especially if there's a lot in the way. So, one thing, use these centering techniques that we did at the beginning. The author is my beloved teacher, Her Holiness Saima. The centering technique is fantastic because it brings us into greater alignment, centeredness, and presence energetically and also just physically. The nervous system responds. So we go more into that parasympathetic response. So you can use that technique regularly when you're looking for clarity. It's a great technique. I always start my day with it, sometimes even in bed, but definitely when I sit down for my morning meditation. Another thing that can be really helpful is tending to our emotions. I have a meditation here, two versions of it on the app. It's called self soothing meditation. One is with music, one is without music for those who prefer no music. And it's a guided journey to be able to really feel our emotions and connect with parts of us inside that are going through a challenging time. So often, when we're having difficulty finding clarity, it's because there are emotions present and we're not tending to them. So they're kind of like a cloud that blocks our ability to see clearly. And then, of course, one of the biggest things for all of us when it comes to finding clarity is all of the conflicting stories in the mind. Maybe it's the story of, but this, whatever it is, there's this mental agitation. So take time to meditate, to calm your nervous system, spend some time in nature, take a slow walk in a place that is away from all of the power lines and the houses and all the city if you can. Do things that help you come to that greater stillness inside. So there's just a few practical ways you can find greater clarity rather than thinking about it as grasping for an answer that you don't have yet, and then probably the way many of us do, unconsciously beating ourselves up for not knowing the answer. Rather than doing that, say, okay, what can I do to attune my system to my own inner wisdom and knowingness? How can I calm my nervous system, quiet the mind, welcome my emotional experiences so I may free them up from my system and have greater clarity? Thank you, Danielle. Okay, we're going to come back now. All right. First of all, I just want to acknowledge Kathleen's comment. Kathleen shared, thank you for sharing how it has been a struggle to focus during your practice lately. It's helped me identify a similar pattern I'm struggling with. Absolutely, love. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, we just go through those cycles. Many of you know I've been meditating for uh, 25 years. And I mean, like regular meditation almost daily for 25 years. For many years, it was twice a day. And I still have experiences like this. It's okay. This is part of the journey. It's not like, well, I'll just leave it at that. It's okay for us to have that internal agitation. That I think an important part of the key, unless there's a lot of strain and forcing when you sit to meditate, if that's the case, I would actually invite take some time off from your meditation practice. Do something else as a meditation if you're in a strain and struggle to meditate. Now, if there's just some agitation or discomfort, that's often what we go through as we go deeper in our meditation. So often when I sit down to meditate, I'll feel agitated, I'll feel uncomfortable. That is not the time, at least in my experience and what I've learned. That's not the time to get up. That's the time to stay with myself, to be present with myself through the discomfort. What I find more often than not is I am able to finally move through the layers of stress as I sit still, and that allows me to find a deeper place of peace inside. Now, again, though, there's a difference between, wow, this is kind of uncomfortable. My mind's really agitated. I'm kind of lost over here. There's a difference between discomfort and, oh, I gotta make myself meditate. That strain and that struggle, I don't think is good for our being. And actually, my beloved Ma has taught that for as long as I can remember. If you've lost the juice in your meditation practice, if you are chanting japa or you're in your meditation and you feel this sense of struggle, not discomfort, but strain and struggle, or there's just no passion, don't do it. Don't force yourself to do that. And you choose how you want to address that. Maybe it looks like, again, just taking a couple days off and not even meditating. Oh my gosh, she said that. I can't lose my insight timer streak though, Selena. Or maybe you just choose a different kind of practice, right? So explore that. Thanks for sharing, Kathleen. Okay, coming back to Gary's comment here. Gary said, do you feel much resistance when releasing and letting go? I often do. Hmm. Do you feel much resistance? Yeah, I think that's a very natural experience. I think even when we're not trying to let something go, we feel resistance. We feel resistance to feeling. We feel resistance to certain thoughts. We feel resistance to things that are happening in the world. We feel resistance to doing the things we know are good for us. We feel resistance, all the time. So much of our human experience is resistance, and that's really, I think, a core root of our suffering is the resistance to what is. You find this in Byron Katie's teachings, if you're familiar with Byron Katie, and many, many other teachings. It's natural to feel resistance. And, just if you think about it, if something requires letting go, does that mean that we are attached? Right? If I feel the need to let something go, is that showing me that I'm attached to it? And I'm not saying there's a right answer here, but that I think that's a great inquiry that we can have with ourselves. Yes? If I'm having difficulty letting go, it's probably because I'm holding on, right? So what am I holding on to? Am I holding on to the fear of being alone? Am I holding on to the fear of not being good enough, not being liked, the fear of failure? I mean, it really all comes back down to fear, doesn't it? When I have difficulty letting something go, it shows me that I'm holding on. And then I can have loving inquiry. Why do I feel this need to hold on? So maybe see how that feels, Gary. I'm glad it's reassuring. Yeah. Resistance is quite often the state of the human being, and that's why we feel contracted. One of the reasons. Thank you. Okay, I'm going back through the comments. Ah. Davey's sharing this resonates so much with me. I've gotten a little stuck with Dan Millman's book, The Life You Were Meant to Live. Oop, there your comment goes. And this passage is calling me back on my path. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, it can get tricky, right? Even if we're reading something that's inspiring or helps to open our minds about what's possible for our lives, then we can start to beat ourselves up or hold these expectations of how the journey is supposed to look or be. And then before we know it, we're in a contracted state thinking about how we're supposed to be living, right? Yeah. Glad you were able to come back to you. Thank you for your donations, my friends. I'm so grateful. And it's such a treat, Insight Timer figure out a way for us as instructors to receive 100% of donations now. It used to be 50%. So that's significant. It's significant for our well being, as I know many of us who offer sessions here. This is a big part of our lives to serve and be together in this way. So your donations are very helpful and deeply appreciated. Yes. Yes, Danielle. Thank you. Okay, I'm coming back to your comments. Um, yes, Gary, again, the name of the book is Conscious Living: The Power of Embracing Your Authentic You. Oh, that's so sweet, Maureen. So, Maureen sharing that she saw my mom while I was reading. Um, I think you mean like you saw my mom in me. Many of you have had the great gift of uh, being in my mom's live sessions. My mom's name, you can find her on the app, is Sandy Magram. And she actually offered a live earlier today. That's very sweet. Hi, Sunshine. Is there a description of the centering technique somewhere? I'm sure there is, but even better, I will remember. I'm making a mental note to myself right now. I'll post in our group, Love Heals All. You're still part of the group, right? I'll post in our group a link to a video where you can watch the centering technique. Mental note, centering technique, centering technique. Okay, it's made. Hi, Lanny. Oh. So lovely to be together. Hmm. Oh, the group is. Oh, sorry, Carol. I'll spell Sandy's name. Sandy Magram. Uh, the group is just right here on the app. I think you can join the group via my profile page. Love Heals All is the name of the group, and you can also search for it in groups. Love Heals All, but I'm pretty sure you can access it right on my profile page. Yes, thank you, love. Yeah, come be with us. Ah, so we have time for another question. Who has a question? Hi, Andrea. Um, my dad, she's asking, is my dad still giving sessions? He hasn't been doing live sessions. Uh, but I'm happy to see your comment because it'll be fuel for the fire of me encouraging him to share his grace and wisdom because he just, I'm so blessed. Eh, I've had a very challenging life in some ways, very blessed life in many ways. And I have incredible parents. I came from a very dysfunctional family, like most, or I think all families probably to a certain degree. But my parents, even with their faults, are just exquisite human beings, and I'm blessed beyond measure. And so much of who I am and the way I share is because of them. So having them come on Insight Timer and share their wisdom is just so such a gift because I know that they serve so many. Yeah, pretty much. Not my siblings, but both of my parents are teachers on the app. So it's very sweet. Very, very sweet. Mm, yeah. That, Andrea, and having the grace of the way I was raised, which is my parents, and also my beloved teacher, Simon. Andrea shared that's what makes you so amazing and soulful and heartfelt. And it is absolutely my parents and absolutely these decades of being in the grace and the teachings with my beloved teacher, Saima. My dad's name, you can find him on the app, is Jonas Migram. I'll encourage him to start offering lives. My mom has been traveling for some time now, but she'll be back home next week. So maybe her doing her lives regularly will encourage him to start doing lives regularly. Oh, yeah, that too. Suketa is sharing, I remembered the day when you brought your mom along with you in your IT session. Probably it's been more than 1 year. Yeah. I think the first time she joined a session was shortly after I started. So I think it was probably in the fall of 2020 was the first time she ever joined for a little guest session. All right. Andy's, are you bringing a question, my love? Have you had much experience with, I'm guessing, have you had much experience with, I'm not sure I know this word. Either it's a typo or I don't know this word and I'll probably butcher pronouncing it. Um, awapol, awapole? People. You were trying to write people, weren't you? You liked my attempt there? That was good. Have you had much experience with people that have faced near death experiences and how they can restart with a new perspective? I have not had a lot of experience with that, my love. No, it's not an area where I have um, developed any tools and techniques. Is that well, feel free to send me a direct message if you'd rather share more privately about what that is for you. Thank you, Gary. Jason, hi, my Jason. Jason is asking, when did you start learning from Her Holiness Sai Ma? I started studying with Sai Ma when I was a wee babe. Not really. I was 18. It's been 22 years. 22 years. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, Suketa. Thanks for clarifying. That's great. Wonderful. I'm so happy to be together. Evie's asking, can you recommend anything for acceptance? Oh, you're asking as a question. I didn't know if you were asking for like a book recommendation. Yes, absolutely, my love. Absolutely. This is kind of course I remember you, my friend. This is for me kind of one of the core principles of the teachings that I share, compassion and acceptance. Yes, I got it. Thank you. Um, Well, let's start with this. Let's start with looking at it through the lens of self acceptance. I was working with a beloved in a one on one session earlier today, and she was sharing how she was feeling this essentially this pain of wanting to feel accepted by her partner, wanting to feel, yeah, accepted by her partner essentially. And although there is a real experience in that for her, what we were able to look at more deeply together is that it was her lack of acceptance of herself that caused her to feel such a deep longing to be accepted by another. People are our mirrors. So if it's in the dynamic of acceptance with, this isn't just with people though, it's with anything. We can look at these experiences as a mirror for our relationship to ourselves and start to have loving, kind inquiry around where am I not being accepting of myself? Where am I not accepting what is happening within me? And we can use that with whatever the experience of acceptance is, whether it's wanting to be accepted by another person we're feeling judged by. Okay, if I really truly practice accepting myself, then that need to feel accepted by the other dissipates and even dissolves. If there's a situation in my life where I feel like I can't accept it the way that it is, the more I practice accepting myself and in the feelings of resistance or non acceptance that I'm having, the easier it will be to accept what is occurring. So, you see what I'm saying? No matter the situation, if we start with a sense, yes, I'm getting there. If we start with a sense of self acceptance, then that prepares us to be able to accept things outside of us. So I'd really say that's a core. And now Evie's asking, I'm thinking more of chronic health issues. Yeah, I think practicing compassion. I'm going to speak specifically to chronic health issues because there are so many different things in our lives that we feel challenged to accept at different times. Starting with compassion, compassion for ourselves, compassion for what we're going through, and also giving ourselves permission to grieve. Saimat uh, has this great teaching, which seemed a little, I don't know what the word is at first. I didn't know that I fully resonated with it at first, but I get it now and I see such tremendous value in it. And Ma teaches that a powerful technique we can use when it comes to grief is to actually set a timeline. And I know many of us are like, well, how can you set a timeline for grief when it comes to, the loss of a loved one or things like this? But if this resonates for you at all, I invite you to give it a try. If you're in a grieving period right now or when something does arise, set a specific time period. Maybe you say to yourself, okay, I'm navigating this. Um, well, let me just clarify first the way that I interpret this teaching. By not setting a timeline for me to fully immerse myself in this grief, then I am essentially creating an opening to experience that grief, potentially even to that level or that degree for the rest of my life. By not creating some kind of a container for the grief, I'm basically saying and creating my path forward that I will always feel grief. And I know many of us actually do that. We have conditioning from our environment or even different books and teachings that says grief will last forever. And because we have that belief and we hold it in our awareness, we experience it that way. And as always, there's no one experience and there's no right experience. So again, having this technique of saying, I'm going to grieve for this period of time gives us permission to totally fall apart in the grief, to feel it fully, because the grief is emotion, right? It's an energy, it's an emotion that's arising. And then once we've given ourselves permission to grieve 200% for this period of time, then we consciously choose how we wish to move forward. Rather than feeling at the mercy of the grief for the rest of our lives, we choose to become conscious in our creation. I am choosing to put my attention on this. I am choosing to take care of myself like this. I am choosing to think thoughts like this or do things like this that nourish me in my life. We become a conscious creator. Now, naturally, even if you say, this is my timeline for grief, and then I'm moving forward, it will likely come up again. The difference when it comes up again is you won't fall into the abyss of it. You will be able to be with it differently. One, because you gave yourself full permission to grieve, and two, because you've created this new um, space for yourself to exist. So that was a little side note teaching here. So that's coming all the way back to your question, Evie. Compassion, give yourself room to grieve and set a timeline. If that teaching resonated with you, say, okay, you know, maybe you've been living with this chronic illness for a long time. Maybe it just came on as a diagnosis. So you could say, all right, for the next 3 months or the next whatever, 30 days, whatever resonates for you, I'm going to give myself permission to feel really badly about this, whatever comes up. And then you say to yourself, and then after that period, I'm going to put my attention on support groups with people who have this same chronic illness and reaching out, or doing the things that really nourish me in my life. Whatever it is, you create this new era of you and your life after that. Okay, great, great. So, compassion, giving yourself this room to grieve, um, nourishing yourself. And I think something, there's so many really powerful teachings about how the mind is the ultimate prison or the ultimate freedom. You know, there are people who can even be incarcerated and free their minds. We've heard stories like this about people like Nelson Mandela, or I even know people personally who've experienced this. Something happens where you use the power of your mind to free yourself regardless of your circumstances physically. So we could also say, okay, well, what can I feed my mind with to serve me? What can I feed my mind to enlighten my thoughts, enlighten my emotions, to serve myself? So that wasn't the most direct answer about acceptance, because acceptance can look very different from what I just shared. But I do feel that the pieces I just shared can be a very powerful part of the journey of acceptance, rather than just expecting ourselves to be able to let something go. Give ourselves permission to free ourselves from that which we're holding on to. Please feel free to let. Okay, great, great. I'm so glad it served. So glad. Wonderful. Well, I'm just going to come back to a couple of comments. It is time for us to wrap up, but I just want to go back here a little bit and make sure that I at least see all the comments, even if I'm not able to mm, answer any questions that might have come in. Oh, Sukera, I hold you in my heart. Thank you for letting us be here with you in that. Love you. Ah, Thank you, Lori, for your question about healing from chronic illnesses. We don't have time for that today. Oh, and you just reminded me I was going to speak on relationships today. There will be a time. uh, please do join our group, Love Heals All, and I'm happy to share some things there to support you in that. Great. Rosita, everything I just shared was in response to the acceptance question. Oh, that's beautiful, Gary. It's because that's how connected we all truly are in this space of love. We don't need to know each other's personalities to be in love with each other, to be here together, to be compassionate, to be connected. That's the beauty and the grace of love. Oh, awesome, Maureen. So awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So glad. Ah, why don't we close today just taking a moment, um, just taking a moment to send love to all here in this session, all who are watching the replay, anyone, the whole planet, the whole creation, if you wish. We have so many here in our community that are sharing very vulnerable things that they're going through. And I know many of you haven't shared today, but you're also going through a lot. So let us bring together our collective heart and with our intention, feel, imagine that we are all together in this circle, this sphere of light. And each of our hearts are connected, creating this big circle that moves out into a sphere. So this light moves out in all directions, all of our hearts connected with this beautiful light, creating like this sun of light, of warmth, of love. And we can imagine each one of us inside of this sphere of love and light, being held in love. Everything we're ready to let go of being washed away in the light. And you can bring others into this circle if you wish, others in your life who are needing this love. It could be people you don't even know, maybe an entire group of people you wish to hold in this light, in this love. Maybe you see the entire planet being washed, bathed in this light of love. We are so powerful together, embodiments of love. And when we come together, this love is just enlivened and magnified. May we each receive grace. May we feel and know how loved and cared for we are. May we feel supported. May we know the peace of our being that is always here. May we know ourselves as embodiments of love, serving, on the planet. Inhale deeply, feel like your heart is growing, expanding. And exhale, feel this warmth, this light of your being, feeling your whole body expanding into the space all around you. If your eyes are closed, you can slowly open them. Thank you. Love you. I love you. I love you. Be together on Friday for our yoga asana session. And then uh, next week, there is, I may need to take a dear one to the hospital for an appointment. So I might need to cancel our session next week or move it to a different day if possible. So I'll post updates about that in our group, Love Heals All. Hopefully we'll be together, but if not, know that I'll be serving a beloved. Beautiful. So until we are together again, great love, great compassion, great joy, tenderness to you. Thank you for your beautiful light. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for being in my life. You are a gift to my heart.